I totally forgot to talk about the backflip, and I don't even know how he did it. It was incredible. But before we get there, it'll be the story after this, I promise, guys. So, on the side streets where it's like 25 miles per hour, someone tipped their car sideways. Like, must have been a hard turn, and they were definitely speeding to that momentum, that G-force to tip their car. That was something. I didn't watch it, but I saw it after, and it was just sideways. Like, what? How's there even enough room to, even attempt that? It was kind of impressive. So, the backflips. This goes back into the Rocky Mountains in Colorado. I was driving, and I was like, yeah. It was another winter night. I was in it 4 nights a week, and I was like, yeah. So, anyways, some dude is speeding, and I don't even know how he did it. He loses traction, starts spinning out, and then suddenly he's doing a backflip right in front of me, and then a full backflip and lands in the ditch. So I was like, what the? Doesn't sound that impressive, but it was something, and I was like, what in the heck? So let's give one last moment for our sponsor and one final message. Thank you for tuning in to Mike on to Mike, and we are going to be doing a Mike on to Bike episode today. Don't do these too often, but Mike on to Bike, it's everything transportation, from vehicles, big rigs, boats, motorcycles, trains, planes, yada, yada, yada. So today we're going to cover some of the crazy stuff I've seen out there on the road, and I'm surprised how much things have changed over the last few years. So, with that being said, let's get going. So, on this first installment, I'm going to talk about things I've seen nationwide and just the crazy stuff. So, out in New York, I was trucking, kind of just outside Newark, New Jersey, and New York City. Really close, though. I dropped at a warehouse, whatever. So, it's like industrial. So, anyways, I was driving, and I waited at my red light. And then the light turned green. So I was like, okay, green means go, you know? So I started crossing, and the problem was oncoming traffic just kept deciding to cut me off. They had a yellow yield, I had a green, so I'm just trying to get through this intersection. And anyways, so I'm just inching along, just literally going half a mile per hour, probably 2 miles per hour, through this intersection as cars just keep cutting me off. And I'm like, geez, that's New York for you. So, that was one of the bad ones. Can't even cross a green light without apparently green means yield. So anyways, hopefully I conveyed that good. That brings me to Atlanta. Atlanta, I didn't really see anything crazy, per se. But what I did see was, every time I drove through there was like half a dozen to a dozen cars on the side of the road on fire. I don't know what the deal was. If it's too hot and humid and cars just catch on fire, or people just not paying attention to their coolant or their oil or something, but it was pretty odd. So, now let's get going to the West Coast. So, the West Coast. I've been out there quite a few times, and I've heard a lot. We've all heard a lot about how bad the traffic is in LA. The funny thing is, I don't think it's that bad. Any metropolis has really bad rush hours. Chicago, the Twin Cities, New York City. Oh, I'm going to rewind a second. Driving through New York City, I was going to Long Island, crossing the GW Bridge. Anyways, driving through, the heart of New York, there was a cop stationed out, every half a block. Anyways, I digress. Back to LA. So, LA never seemed that crazy to me. They got their rush hour, and it's even rush hour is not smooth. Like here in Denver or other places, it's like, okay, it's rush hour, we all go slow, kinda. 20 miles per hour, sometimes 5 miles per hour, sometimes 40 miles per hour, somewhere in there. But LA was weird because it's like you launch at 60 miles per hour, and then suddenly you're at a dead stop for a little bit. And then you get around the corner, and then you launch 60 miles per hour, and then you can come to a stop for a little bit. Like, it's very jolty. It's really weird. But it's not that bad. It's like every other metropolis out there. So, let's head over to Seattle. Seattle, I lived there for a year, and like I just said, they had rush hour. It was sometimes it took forever to get from Tacoma to Seattle. It took quite a while sometimes. Other times it wasn't that bad. So, anyways, some of the things I saw out there, I was exploring, just driving around town, and I end up coming to the stoplight, and there's a lot of people going on, like a lot of cars. I'm like, what the heck is this? So, red light, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? So, anyways, the light turns green, and I find out I'm literally in the middle of a drag race. I'm driving a lime green Mitsubishi Lancer, but this car did not have the engine to be racing. It could barely even get me around. Like, when I hit the hills out there, it's like, oh my god, it was having trouble. But anyways, so it was like it was a car meet / race. And what was weird out there about Seattle is there were signs everywhere that said this is not a street racing zone, but it like implies that there are street racing zones. So anyways, the light turns green, and I find out I'm like next in line for a drag race, and then this other car like slams past us, and he shouts, "Cops!" So like, he ruined my little drag race that I didn't really even want to be a part of because of my car. But anyway, so we all scattered, and I like watched the group, and I was like, I gotta go the other way. Haha, suckers. It's like, imagine if you get pulled over, and it's like, hey, you were street racing. I was like, I did not even know what was going on. I just pulled up to a stoplight, just because I'm in a lime green Lancer. Jeez. So anyways, I go the opposite direction, and I want to say it was a 7-Eleven, but regardless, it was a gas station. I just parked there. I'm like, whew, that was so weird. And anyways, so I sit there for a minute, 5 minutes maybe, and suddenly all the cars end up gathering in that parking lot. It was like there was like a shopping center, not like a Walmart shopping center, but like a small strip right there, and everyone gathered right there, and now it was a car meet. So anyways, that was interesting. So yeah. Anyways, let's have a message from our sponsor, and I'll tell you about backflips on cars and all sorts of shit. So, in the beginning, I was definitely not the best driver either. When I was 16, just got my license, I was driving around with my friends, and I made a really hard turn, and I drifted without the handbrake or anything. I was more than likely speeding, and yeah, I ended up drifting right into a median and broke the axle. Cost over $1,000 that my uncle paid for. That was something. And I haven't probably done this in 10 years, but I used to go out to the fields where like nobody was around, and I used to test out topping my car out. And a lot of my cars topped out at 120. So I think I had one go faster, but average 120 was the fastest my cars could go. So, but this was also during my younger years. Anyways, let's talk about some of the crazy stuff out there that I've seen. So, this is called a mic on the bike after all. So, one time, it's like, you never see this when you're in a car, but when you're riding around on your motorcycle, one time, took an off-ramp for the highway and stopped at a light, and then, some dude, I don't even think he was going that fast. He wasn't wearing a helmet. He didn't get hurt, though, thankfully. But he tries braking, and I guess he hit some sand or a rock or something, because he tipped his bike over and just skidded like 10 feet. Got up like it was nothing and drove off. Speaking of which, I had a coworker, and out in Denver, Colorado Boulevard, he was just riding around having a good time. He was like 70 years old. Maybe 80, somewhere in that age. He was definitely grandpa. But Anyways, so on Colorado Boulevard, he gets run over. And, like, straight up, run over. And, this one I didn't witness. But when I heard about it, I was like, oh my God, did he die? Is he okay? And 2 days later, he shows up at work. And I'm like, dude, are you okay? And he's like, I'm sore. And had his normal personality. I was like, that's cool. But he was definitely the Marine time, so, you know, he's probably seen worse. So to finish up on the motorcycle bit, literally like 2 days ago, we were driving through Denver, and this dude comes flying by, and like we've seen videos of it, doing wheelies, doing tricks, doing like handstands on motorcycles. We saw this going through Denver, and we're like, whoa, that's a first. And like, I'm on the road all the time, so it was like, whoa. Anyways, let's move on. And our next stop is going to be in Kansas City. So, this, it was for work. I was driving around in Kansas City. Something small. I was literally sitting in my car for like 3 minutes after checking into the hotel. Sat in my car, and this cop, like, knocks on my window, pulls me over. He's like, what are you doing here? It's like, dude, getting my stuff together. So anyways, it was winter. And if you've lived in Boston, Denver, Kansas City, Seattle, Idaho, from the mid to the north, you've seen icy roads. But I have never seen anything as crazy as this. So I'm just chilling. And I was in a big rig. I was in the left lane. It was kind of like rush hour. We had like a nice steady pace, but there was a lot of traffic. So I'm in the left lane on a 6-lane/3-lane highway. And anyways, so it's icy, it's snowy, it's not terrible, but out of nowhere, this car from the right lane loses control, makes a hard left because he slipped on the ice. I guess he had a bald tire or something. And he cuts between multiple cars, slams into the middle median, bounces off of it, spins out, and crosses traffic again and lands in the ditch. It's like you just dodged like 10 cars, dude. It was sucks for him, but it was actually incredible. Like, wow. And in the big rig, I had a camera, driver-facing camera as well. I looked straight in the camera and said, did you see that? It's like, I didn't do anything wrong, but ended up not working there anymore. Anyways, yeah, that was a little bit batshit. So, I'm going to take a moment to talk about my driving history, because, I mean, for the most part, people drive to work, drive home from work, and drive to the store, and then drive for their hobby, friends, weekend, whatever. So, an hour to work, let's say that, an hour home, that's 2 hours a day. And if you work 5 days a week, that's 10 hours. And then let's add to the store and friends, I want to say 2 hours, but maybe 3. So like 13 hours a week the average person drives. Actually, let me Google that. Wow, I was generous. So I guess per day the average is just under 1 hour or 1.1 hours, somewhere in there. So I was being generous. I doubled it basically. But I didn't quite read if it's 7 days a week. But even then, that's 7 to 8 hours per week. 1 second. 40-ish to 60-ish per year. Well, Harvard said something different. The average American spends 101 minutes driving per day. That means a whopping 37,935 hours driving a car. So, assuming he starts driving at 17 until 78.7 years old. So, anyways, let's figure this all out real quick. The original statistic, or another statistic said 200, that one said 293 hours. So 293 hours per year. But if we do... Ah, shit. Sorry. I need an assistant to help me whip this stuff up. Okay, I got it. So... somewhere between 293 and 600 hours per year somebody drives, which is kind of small potatoes because I drive over 3,000 hours per year, sometimes closer to 4,000 per year. So, with that, let's go off the Harvard one real quick. 37,000 hours per year. So, 1 second. I guess I'm relatively close, according to Harvard. So somewhere between this time frame or 5 years ago, because some of those statistics say half. Somewhere between now or 5 years ago, I've already drove, and I'm 31, almost 32. I've driven more than the average. I've already accumulated all of their hours. So I've spent a lot of time, 10 hours per day, 60 plus hours per week behind the wheel. Through the years, let's see, got my license at 16, did that for a bit. Became a taxi driver, did that for a bit. Oh, speaking about the taxis, they really hounded us that we're the eyes and ears for the police department. And I had one guy fall asleep at a stoplight, and anyways, I was like, well, it's part of my job, I gotta report it. And he probably had a DUI or something. Kind of feel bad. Maybe I should have woke him up, be like, yo, pull over, don't sit at this stoplight sleeping, dude. Anyways, so I've been a truck driver, I've been a school bus driver, I've been an Uber driver, I've done DoorDash, I went trucking in Alaska. Out in Alaska, they work you. So it was like 16 to 20 hours per day, 7 days a week, and non-stop until the season's over. And only sleeping like 4. I mean, you get like a 6-hour break sometimes. Sometimes it's a 4-hour break. So it's like getting 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours of sleep every day. Yeah, you're going to drop trailers and just mess up a lot of stuff. So, anyways, that's a little bit about my history. I'm always on the road. It's one of my jobs. So, let's talk about what I've seen. Next up, we're visiting the Rocky Mountains in Colorado. So, 4 nights a week, I was up there in those mountains. And as a trucker, we need to chain up because during the winter, it might be sunny down here. Even right now in March, it's windy, but it's sunny down here. I bet Vail is pretty nasty. So, I'm going to start off with one time, speaking of which, I was heading up in the Silverthorne area, Eisenhower Tunnel. And on this side, the Denver side, the east side, it was summer. It was 70 degrees. It was nice. So we got a tunnel out there that is, oh my lord, I was gonna say a mile, but not even close. Oh wow, that's crazy. It's actually 1.6 miles. That's pretty long. So anyways, on this side of the mountain, it was sunny. On that side of the mountain, it was 30 degrees in a blizzard. Like, whoa. Day and night, it was like Twilight Zone. And I remember coming out of the tunnel like, oh my lord. My trailer started to slide, but I caught it. Hit the trailer brakes. But the cars next to me instantly came out of the tunnel and started doing 360s, spinning out. I was like, oh my gosh. So, the things I've seen in those mountains. So you're supposed to chain up, like I said, as a trucker, and some truckers are like, I'm here every night, I can do this. So one of my coworkers that's on a similar route, he tried to go through it all, and he got stuck in the middle lane halfway up by Silverthorne, Dillon, coming back towards Denver, so climbing up to Eisenhower. He got stuck, and I pulled over in the chain area. It's like, dude, you're literally right here. What are you doing? He was like, I thought I could make it. He's just stuck. Another time going the opposite direction, also in Silverthorne, the chain laws were not in effect, and I'm trying to climb this mountain, but this other trucker, he's stuck. He's literally just stuck. The whole trailer's going left between all three lanes. His truck's going between all three lanes, so I just have to stop. And a cop pulls up on me. He's like, is everything okay? I was like, well, this guy keeps fishtailing all over the place, so my safest bet was to stop. Now, I don't know if I'm stuck here or not. And anyways, I finally managed to get around him, and I don't know if it was the same state trooper, but he was following me up. And then once I got to the top, he just dipped out. So with that, we should probably take a break, and then we'll get into the backflips and all that stuff. Anyways, we talked about the trucks getting stuck. We talked about crazy motorcyclists. We talked about Kansas City, New York, LA, Seattle, Atlanta. Now we're going to come back again to Silverthorne. So one time I was coming back from Grand Junction in Colorado, coming back to Denver, and I was just before, I can't even remember it. There's a canyon right there. Glenwood Springs. So just before that, going eastbound, come back from Grand Junction, it's snowy. It's so wintry that you can't even see the ground. I mean, you can see the tracks, the structure, but everything's just pure white. And I'm going 40 miles per hour, 45 miles per hour, drive for the conditions, guys. So someone next to me is going 65 in an SUV. They probably have their four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive turned on. They're like, yeah, I'm invincible. So my thought is they're going to crash. And anyways, there was a car in front of me, a couple blocks up. So anyways, I blink for a second after he passes me, and next thing I know, both cars in front of me are doing 360s, and it's icy. I can't just slam on my brakes all because of this idiot over here. So they're going back and forth doing 360s. They're center lane, curb, back and forth, just all over the place doing 360s. So I'm trying to dodge them and barely got through it, and that was heart-wrenching. And then I look back, and he hits, and his Christmas presents go everywhere, and he totals his vehicle. Really? You're in a rush. You think you're invincible with all-wheel drive, and now you don't have a vehicle. Maybe insurance has you, even though it was you that did it. And all those Christmas presents are gone. So, geez, that sucks. But you did it yourself, buddy. That was pretty sad. Anyways, so I'm not sure what it is the internet caused instant gratification, my belief, and the pandemic really, plus the political stuff, really just changed people and how they act in society. So let's get to it. So from there, I'm gonna bring us to Denver. And every day I see cars weaving out of traffic. But about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, so the 6-lane highway, 3 lanes each way, I was in the right lane, just like doing my things, like I need to get places. So there's a dude in the left lane, and at the last second he's like, oh shit, that's my exit. So he makes a hard right from the left lane, cuts off 2 lanes to try to get to the exit lane, the 4th lane, and he misses. He hits this this dirt mound. He goes Dukes and Hazard in the air, just flying. He does land on the exit ramp, or the exit part of it. Sparks everywhere. And he just keeps going like nothing happened. And it's like, wow, dude, that was incredible to watch. I wish I had that on video, but nah. So, a couple weeks ago, this one's a shocking one as well. I didn't see it actually happen, and I'm like, how do I miss these? But I have seen a lot. So, pretty bad fatality. Full-length big rig. They don't stop on a dime. They take a while to stop. But whoever was behind him was probably texting or drunk. And so anyways, this car's from behind ran into the semi, got completely pancaked. And yeah, it was pretty bad. They shut down the whole highway to clean it up. That was something. Let's see. So, out of behaviors, like, on the main streets, not the highways, but, like, the main streets, like, I've seen people, like, lose their shit because people aren't driving fast enough. It's like, okay, it's 40 miles per hour. We're even going 42 miles per hour. And people are flashing their lights, honking because they want to go faster, like, losing their shit. I've had people blare their horn at me, flash their lights because I won't run stoplights, I won't run stop signs, all sorts of stuff. It's like, dude, the light's red, I can't go. Or when you're turning, and I mean, I get it in a sense. When you're turning at a red light, or even a green light, and the person behind you just like keeps laying on their horn, like go, 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 go. But it's like I can't turn because we got a pedestrian walking, but they're still blaring their horn, and it's like, dude, why are you so worked up? Want me to run this person over, get a felony, so you can just go get your milk faster or something? Jesus. Things are getting pretty interesting in Denver. So if traffic's too heavy, I've seen this at least once a week, if not even 2 to 3 times per week. If traffic is too heavy, they just turn the shoulder, like the shoulder, into a lane. And it's so weird though, because once one person does it, like 20 people follow him. It's not even like 2 people anymore. It's like, it literally just straight up turns into a lane. It's like, what's a cop gonna do? I mean, he could just pull up and block the lane so people can't do it. I just don't get people. Me, and gimme. So, guys, be safe out there. You can't yell at it and make it better. Do the speed limit. If it's icy, snowy, foggy out, slow down. Like, you'll get there eventually. Otherwise, you could take your life, take someone else's life, and ruin your life. It just ain't worth it. So be safe, be careful out there, and I'd love if you send in some messages about your experiences. And the chats are open. I'll play them, and I'll talk about them even. So with that, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you for hearing this whole podcast out. And if I think of other things, I'll edit it in after this. Or make a bonus episode. One of the two. Anyways, guys, have a great day.